Hello, in this short video I want to compare different Copilot configurations, and I call it the hard way because I have some rather complex documents that I want to analyze and ask questions against. So I compare 4 different low-code, no-code Copilots. First the M365, then the one with the agent integration, then Copilot Studio, and then Copilot Studio with an Azure AI search integration. The documents that I'm using is I use a super large PDF file. It's actually an annual report from the Lufthansa Group with 403 pages. I use an Excel document with 35,000 rows and 22 columns and ask for specific values. And then I use a messy SharePoint that has all kind of documents stored there. The way how I'm doing that is listed here. So just to highlight some things, for M365 Copilot, I have not found a way how to link a complete SharePoint site. So that seems not available to me. And the other thing that I want to show is if you integrate the Azure AI search and want to integrate documents from SharePoint, then there is a configuration available for that. This is described on this Learn site. Yeah, I found it a bit unnecessary complex, yeah, because it basically creates a link to these SharePoint document libraries and then is doing the indexing. I decided to use this solution. So whenever a document is created on SharePoint, I have a Power Automate flow that puts my document in a blob storage where it's automatically indexed and then becomes available in Copilot Studio. And these are the questions that I prepared. So for the large PDF file, for the Excel document and the SharePoint, I have really some tricky questions. Some of them are really hidden far deep in the document. Some really go down really long until almost the end of the Excel document. And then here on SharePoint, I ask for specific documents and invoices and some specific text fields. So let's see how this works out. And that's what I want to show you in my demo. Okay, so before we have a look at the different agents that I created, I wanted to show you quickly the data sources that I used. So first, this is the annual financial report from this Lufthansa corporation that I just used as an example. And what I'm asking for is not information that you can find here at the beginning, but rather in the financial section. So I'm asking for some values like this one, or further down, a more tricky one that is, I think, this or this value. That is really difficult to find, because you have to look for different values. And further down, I have more information I'm asking for. Then here's my Excel file. You can see I'm requesting or checked whether this line can be inquired and some other lines further above. So I have other lines somewhere here in this 8,000 area where I just ask, hey, how much is received? What is the item number? What is the quantity? What's the price? And so on. And finally, I have this kind of messy SharePoint that I use for a couple of demos, and it contains here really messy data. It has different document libraries with invoice documents. It has something about Excel documents, some tests. So really unsorted, messy data. And now let us have a look at the different Copilots that I prepared. And the first one is this one here. So this is the Copilot in M365. And what I did is I said all the time add content. I uploaded the documents. So I said, okay, just pick a document that I downloaded and then ask a question against it. And then I got an answer. In this case, I asked for something from this annual report and it gave me a number. But I double checked the number and these were wrong. But I will show you the results later on. Then I have here this one, which is again here in the agent section. So I created here an agent, and what I did is I uploaded the documents first to a SharePoint, which is required here. And then you can basically say, okay, I want to inquire this document, which is on my SharePoint. I want to inquire this one, or a whole site, a whole SharePoint site. And I always disable this web search or use your own knowledge and so on. And then I ask other question against it. But again, the results are kind of mixed. And I will come back to that later. The third example is my Air Force 2 agent in Copilot Studio. You see that I uploaded the document here in the knowledge section, and then I ask question against it. This works well, but it takes a while until you get your responses. You can see the question that I ask, and I will give you an overview in a second. And the last thing that I have is this one here that makes use of Azure AI Search. I used it twice because I was testing something and wanted to do a comparison and add something later. Therefore, I have twice. Usually you have one, depends a bit on what you configure. And then you also get some answers. So if you just enter a question. So for example, these are the test questions that I had. So for example, let's ask something about this Excel document, and then give it a try. And then you see that it takes the different knowledge sources that I have, it reviews it, and then it gives the feedback. And this is rather fast if I compare it with the other ones. Okay, so that's it for the demo. Let's now go back to my PowerPoint, where I have a list with the different results and the output that I got. Okay, let's have a look at the results that I got. Again, I used the separation into the different copilots or agents that I used. And let's start first with the M365 Copilot. So for large PDF files, I had these 3 questions. For Excel documents, another 3 questions, and the results are mixed. Sometimes the answers were just wrong, and sometimes they were correct. So that's the result for this. For the M365 agent, Copilot agent, results for Excel and large PDF documents, they were similar. But interestingly, for the SharePoint, the results were very good. Even if you looked into specific amounts of an invoice document, of a contractual document, you got the right answer. Then for Copilot Studio Agent, the results were pretty good when it came to large PDF documents and Excel documents that are uploaded into the knowledge section. But when it comes to SharePoint, well, I would say sometimes the answers were okay, sometimes not. And for me, the winner is the one with the integration into Azure AI Search, because there I always got the correct answer and the answers were provided really fast compared to the other options that I have here. So for me, that's the kind of result board, so to say. So when it comes only to SharePoint data, well, you might do good with the M365 Copilot agent. Just analyzing some documents from there is very good. When it comes to complex and larger files, then you end up typically in Copilot Studio. And then it depends a bit on how often are your documents changing, how complex they are, how often do you want to index them, and what kind of information do you need from SharePoint. So to give you some more hints, here a comparison of the Copilot Studio Agent versus the one with the Azure AI Search attached. So let's start with the one on the left hand side. So if you upload the documents, it takes a while. So you really have to be patient. The results and the documents that you upload, they are more static, because you will not upload the documents every 10 minutes or something. But it takes a while to upload them, and changing them also takes a while. You do not have a direct influence on indexing, re-indexing, vectorizing, and so on. That's done for you, but the setup is of course much easier and everyone can do it. On the other hand side, if we open that, if you use this Azure AI Search, you can just use a blob storage to store the documents. It's cheap. It's really cheap compared to the other sources. Yeah. You can also use it if the documents change often. Yeah. Why? Because you can define re-indexings every 5 minutes. Yeah. But of course, the configuration is more advanced and it costs more money because especially this Azure AI Search, this configuration needs to be done well and it costs extra. And also you need embeddings from large language models. They cost money. So you have to weigh the pro and cons a bit. Yeah? At the end, I would like to highlight you this session from Microsoft Build, where they give you a glimpse on the future of Azure AI Search and agentic RAG. Yeah, that's something I did not use. I just used the classical RAG. The other thing I want to highlight is that what I did here is just a test. Yeah, I used, of course, really a lot of documents, complex documents, but it might not be representative of what you have on your SharePoint, in your file storage, and so on. Yeah? So be careful when doing that. Okay, so that's it, what I want to share.